Oh. 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 Yep. Andy. Okay. Sorry. What's up?
Welcome, curling fans. We are in the first end of our featured game here. It is the third edition of World Curling Tour event here in Adelboden. It's a lovely weekend. It's very sunny. It's always very nice and pretty up here in Adelboden, and we have some very beautiful curling for you to watch as well. A featured game, it's a tasty one this Friday afternoon. Maybe you're wrapping up in the office for this week and you have it on your headphones. We have a bit of a pause. We've had technical gremlins all morning, so forgive us. But hopefully we're getting that sorted out. We are watching sheet 2 here in Adelboden and playing red and conveniently wearing red. It is the very familiar face of Joel Retornaz's team. We'll say hello to the teams in a minute, and throwing yellow. Oh, but not having a very happy throw there. It is the young Swiss team of Iseli. Bright start for the Italians, but luckily for Iseli, they actually have a stone. But Italy already being able to put a bit of pressure on Iseli's team. We will say hello to the teams in just a minute. We have teams from all over here in Adelboden this weekend. We have another team from Italy who were also here last time, Team Ribotta. We'll see them later this weekend. We have several teams, of course, from Switzerland, including young Iseli's team out in front of us. We have teams from Czech Republic, from France, from Poland and from Korea. We have lots to look forward to this weekend. Thank you, James, in the chat for confirming that you can hear everything. That's good. If you want to say hi in the chat or tell us who you're cheering for, what you're looking forward to this weekend, we love to hear from you. Everybody's welcome here in the virtual club. Very tricky shot then for Iseli from Switzerland. He does have last stone. So coming at a slightly different angle for the left-hander. Typically that doesn't make too much difference. Says me, because Iseli has really overthrown that one, and he is going to be facing a bowler in the first end with his last stone. But they will be jolly happy that their last draw ended up as good as it did, giving them last stone at all. Joel and Mattia just discussing, okay, do they want to put this last stone? They just want to put pressure on Italy. Let's force Iseli to play against 3 reds. And I like this call. Let's just block that path that Iseli was just trying. And force him to go around the clockwise handle instead. This is a good idea.
No, il fa il tap e ne lascia uno.
Einfach etwa
Ghiaccio è
Sekunden
quello della guardia.
And in contrast, Joel and the Italians will be very happy with their first end efforts here. This is why I love watching this Italian team. You rarely see them in a big mess. And I have seen Joel Retornaz lifting a few Hail Mary shots as well, but you rarely see them needing to. They just keep things tidy. Rarely get themselves in a pickle. This looks like a nice shot to finish off the Italians' first end. And oh boy, he's only gone and frozen his own stone for a bit of an encore. Yeah, and Iseli's team in a bit of trouble already then. Not even sure if there's space to outdraw the pair of those. I think he may be drawing for -1 rather than -2 here.
Giochi il tap e ne lasci uno.
But they've just done their practice, these two teams. This is Retornaz's first game on the ice of this competition. Not the first game for Iseli.
Mi si sente bene come diciamo.
Iseli's team had a big win already this morning at the early draw, the 8 o'clock draw against Mercier from France. We can see Mercier from France on the left of your screen.
Boys, 14-6, Sandro.
This is a brave effort from Jan.
Hard, bring it fest, hard, bring it, beide, weiter.
He couldn't get it much closer, could he?
One for sure.
Oh, I feel like they almost deserved that point for being under such pressure in that first end. Well, they've agreed something. Okay, so maybe they've already agreed one red, and now someone will be sent to get the measure. So an exciting first end already, viewers. I think that probably was one red already, and now measuring to see if it's 2 reds or just the one. Really brave effort from Jan Iseli though. But a few mistakes in that first end for the young Swiss team. And no time at this level to feel your way into the game, to start getting comfortable with the stones. You have to be up and running immediately. Oh, here comes Max Vince back with the measure. At Worlds or Europeans, you would call for the umpire, but at this level, we trust everyone to do it properly themselves. So this is pretty typical. You have the 2 vice skips, one of whom will set the pin, and then the 2 of them will just watch to make sure they agree which of those stones is the closer.
Non è chiesto anticipare con la spazzata, secondo me. Non ha bisogno di anticipare, puoi spazzare anche vedere che livello.
Max just gently pushing the pin around, not putting any pressure on it.
Yeah.
Ooh. And so close that Mattia Giovanella is looking, and well done Jan Iseli. That looks like it was just one red. And outscoring that second red, so great save from Iseli team there. In a bit of trouble already in the first end, but managing to get away with a steal of 1, so almost as if they just didn't have last stone actually. But really bright start from the Italians. I'm sure we'll see same thing from them. There we are, one red it is. They haven't put the colours up yet, but conveniently the Italians playing in their red sweaters. So now's a good chance to say hello to our teams out there. So in Hack, lead thrower for the Italian rink, it is Mattia Giovanella. Second thrower on the left of your screen, that's Sebastiano Arman. Third thrower on the right of your screen is Amos Mazzana. And fourth thrower and skip up the other end that Mattia is aiming for, that's Joel Retornaz. Cleaning their stones just now. The team Iseli, their lead thrower is Sandro Fanchini. Second thrower new to the team this year is Andreas Gerlach. Third thrower Max Vince. Fourth and skip Jan Iseli.
Vedendo l'LSD sembrava che le ne saputo bitte.
And you might think, on paper, this would be a relatively straightforward game for the Italians. They've had a pretty start to their season so far. We saw them a couple of weeks ago in Baden, and they sailed through to the quarterfinals, beating everybody, and then ran to Benoit Schwartz in belligerent mood. And truly that was the story of that game. The Italians pretty much knocked out by Benny Schwartz on his own in Baden. But in Scotland last weekend for the European Super Series, Joel's team went through 6 games without a loss.
Easy line, easy. Aspetta linea. Linea,
a lot of big teams in that tournament as well last weekend. I'm sure Joel's team will be delighted with their performance there. And they will be looking to recreate that. Of course, Joel's team current world bronze medalists, and big old Amos on the right of our screen, Olympic champion with his teammate Stefania Constantini at mixed doubles. But I don't think Young Iseli's team, I don't think they will be intimidated by that. They are the current Swiss junior champions from 2022, so just before summer. They were also in Baden a couple of weeks ago. And they didn't make the quarterfinals that time, but they did pick off Olympic silver medalist Bruce Mowatt's team. Plenty for Jan Iseli to be feeling positive about as well. I feel I'd like to see more positive body language from Jan Iseli, who's a really fine floor. We watched a couple of their games a couple of weeks ago, and the whole team really getting stronger and stronger. As we said, all aged out of juniors now, but their last chance at juniors, and they won the Swiss competition, and winning any Swiss championship is really very tricky. I've always thought that Switzerland and Scotland are the two countries that are the most difficult in terms of strength and depth in Europe to win the nomination. There are a lot of strong Scottish teams, a lot of Swiss Scottish teams. No, there aren't. There are a lot of Swiss strong teams as well, and pretty handy Italian team here. Our friend Matilda is in the chat. Hi, Matilda. I think Matilda watches from Sweden. And no Swedish teams here this weekend. I know there is another event in Oslo this weekend. I think a lot of the Scandinavian teams there. But they don't have that nice lady talking about the game. This looks better from second thrower Andy Gerlach. That's better. That's more like it now. That yellow now dangerous for Italy. You can see that red, not quite locked, but that red just behind it. That yellow going nowhere. And that's why that's a really nice shot from Andy Gerlach. He's new to the lineup this season, having a bright start.
Linea buona. Linea buona.
Second throw in the second end for second thrower,
Linea perfetta.
Sebastiano Arman.
Linea. Sì.
And I learned that he has a nickname.
Linea. Linea. Hard.
And if you're listening to the players, you will hear them calling Rama.
Okay.
That's Sebastiano's nickname. Sweep, Rama, sweep. I know a little Italian, but this word was not familiar to me, and they were explaining that that's Sebastiano's nickname.
Oh, sie weiter. Wieder Sandro. Oh, Max.
And we are hoping to have our little pop-up on the screen again. If you were with us in Baden, we were having a lot of fun popping up support messages and questions on the screen, and we expect to have that ready again for quarterfinals. So that will be tomorrow evening, Saturday.
Freeze. Interno.
We have one of our Japanese friends in the chat as well. I know I don't speak a word of Japanese. I'm not sure how to say your name, but I know you were joining us in Baden as well. So thank you for joining us here in Adelboden. If you do want to join us actually in Adelboden, I fully recommend it. Adelboden is my little ace up my sleeve for visitors to Switzerland. It's not even in the guidebook that I had 20 years ago when I first came. That's how much of a cool secret it is. But it's awesome. That's a beautiful weekend. I think Larissa, our chief organizer, she has done a super job of speaking to the tourist office and making sure we have nice sunny weather, highlighting the lovely mountains while we have our visitors.
Possiamo fare un po' di tap, non è male. Se facciamo un filo di tap non fa schifo.
Starting to look like an end of mixed doubles out there in the second end of our featured game here. And handily, look who's about to throw. Is the Olympic champion at mixed doubles.
Wow. Rama. Devi andare. Vai,
And you
Rama.
could have for the Italians to have that kind of firepower. But not quite finding the curl with that stone, the big guy.
Okay.
I think he may have rearranged the angles in a less helpful way, actually. Looks like that could be helpful easily. Max Vince coming up to take a look himself, now that the angles have changed a bit. Iseli's team with a nice strong win this morning. They played Mercier, the French team. They won that 8-1. They got a big 5 in the first end, which always helps.
Okay, ja, aber was bringt da?
It's still easily with last stone in the second end. They haven't seemed keen on driving that centre guard, that first stone from Italy, but from Mattia Giovanella. They haven't seemed keen on doing the run back, driving that red back into the pack. People's angles aren't as nice down there as they look up here.
Mal 9 geht auch, ist einfach schwieriger zum... Aber ist gut. Komm, wir spielen 9.
Looks like this one will be coming at a bit of weight. Indeed, a big leg drive from Max Witz.
Ja! Whoa! Sandro! Sandro! Yep, bring
The
that!
angle,
Yep!
difficult but nice.
Good.
And oh, look at that, he's absolutely popped it. Wow. What a shot from Max Vince. Look at all those yellows in front of tee. Lovely shot, sir. And with one big shot, suddenly Italy are scrambling a little bit. Remember, Italy don't have last stone now in the second. Huge shot from Max Vince, suddenly putting a lot of pressure on the Italians, so this better be good. Matilda, thank you for letting us know about the sound. I will definitely pass that on. As I said, we're having a bit of issue with the technical gremlins. They weren't here yesterday. Everything was fine then. But do keep us informed, as well as let us know if you have a question or if you're wanting to support. An equally big throw then from equally big, in fact even bigger, as Mazzana. Looking to remove a bunch of granite. And that's nice from Amos. Taking out 2 yellow counters. He would have loved to roll that red just a little bit further. Now I'm being a little bit picky, but as you can see, Jan Iseli immediately indicating that red is not safe here. Certainly close to the yellow, but definitely a nice big hole to punch that through and out the back. And then we could be looking at 3 yellows lying ahead of tee, always dangerous. Another quite big from Max Vince. Not sure he needed all that weight at it. The more weight you throw, it can be, the more difficult it is to control, and it doesn't help him too much. He didn't find the curl on that one. I think they maybe wanted a little bit less weight at that. Give the stone a chance to curl, give the sweepers a chance to direct it. And he's let Italy off the hook a little bit there. You can see there's only 1 yellow lying now. It's that yellow all the way back with Andy Gerlach's stone that we said was really nice and safe. It's still safe in behind there. Two options for Italy. They could come around the clockwise handle, and they have their own stone there as backing. That would really neutralise everything. If they can really freeze on their own back stone there, that would make Iseli's job pretty difficult to get 2 points from that position. Or they're a little cautious of that yellow still hanging around just where Joel's pointing right now on the left. They don't really want a chance for Iseli to be able to bring that stone back into play. A very easy way of thinking of that is, well, no yellows, no points. If there aren't enough yellows in the house, Jan Iseli cannot bring anything back into play. We have a whole 3 days curling here in Adelboden. 3 more days, rather. We started yesterday evening. And we have 5 draws today. And 4 draws tomorrow. Lots of curling to look forward to. Decision then from Italy is the clockwise handle. Ooh, golly, this one is really catching the curl. He's going to corner freeze that yellow. That certainly makes the clockwise handle a lot more difficult. Although that's the only one, the only handle they're looking at. The anti-clockwise handle still open, but Iseli maybe saving that for a last stone. He'd love to get another yellow in, maybe on top of that red. We saw how much Joel's stone just curled though. I think this shot is probably a lot more difficult than it looks.
Wie viel hat es rein? Ja, der hat 15,2. Ist ein bisschen härter, hä? Ja. 14,5 auch etwa. 14,5. Gib noch ein bisschen mehr.
We saw them having a good look at the yellow and the red. Hard to tell from our angle which shot is closer, and they're maybe thinking if they can even just bump that red just a couple centimetres further back, could well be like 2 yellow. The left-hander Iseli with his first throw of the second end. They had plenty of yellows lying around, but still a bit of work to do to start making them count. I think he's got this one perfectly though. He certainly has. That caught the curl just perfectly. You can see that even got to the inside of that red that was on the back of the forefoot. And he's just flopped in towards the centre. And I fancy this shot coming up for Joel Retornaz even harder than the one Jan Iseli just threw beautifully. If I say all Joel Retornaz has to do is simply follow that stone from Iseli. That sounds straightforward, but never easy. If he's too heavy, Joel, it won't curl enough. And if he's too light, we saw how much his first one curled. Amos and Sebastiano really taking care of the direction with their sweeping. Mattia really keeping close eyes on, and this is an excellent team shot. Lovely throw from Joel. Great communication from the sweepers. Spot on line call from Mattia. And when the dust has settled, that's one red. I wondered if that was the danger for Iseli of coming up on the clockwise handle there. I wondered if maybe with Jan's stone, maybe throwing something ahead of T on the anti-clockwise handle might have been more of a challenge for the Italians. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about this one now, boys. I think that could be the best option. Looks like Max is indicating yellow onto red. I'm not sure that even helps either, does it? I don't think you can move that red just thrown by Joel without moving the yellow right next to it. And I feel like this is an awful lot of work to try to get 1 point. You could also just try to draw to the pin on the anti-clockwise handle, but maybe they feel this is the easier way. Retornaz's team, I'm sure they will have high hopes for the competition. They've been very supportive of this competition since it started 2 years ago. We're in our 3rd edition.
Yep.
And coming off a really big win
Hard.
in Scotland last
Hard.
weekend.
Fest. Fest.
Oh no. That's another brave try from Jan Iseli. He's having some tough shots already out there this afternoon. And gosh, he wasn't far off, but I think that is a steal of 1 red. I think that stone just over curled for him at the end. He maybe could have swept it a little bit earlier and then lifted the brushes later. And I think that will be a steal of 1 red. And that means after 2 ends, we have 2 steals to the Italians, and that means going into end 3, the score is Retornaz of Italy 2, Jan Iseli Switzerland 0.
Giochiamo lì. 6.
Mit dem ersten vom Jahr nach der Take-Out spielen, können sie gerade Preis legen. Und Manchester hat Hit Row gemacht, oder? Hat er aber auch recht gut gemacht. Vielleicht. Also ich weiß es nicht. Und da war schon tot, ja.
Linea buona. Linea buona. Linea buona. Amos. La linea è buona per Amos. Linea buona per Amos. Ok. Resta dritte giù e dopo la fine viene un po'. 14.
2.
Linie gut. 1 bis 2.
Ist nicht schlecht.
We are in the 3rd end of our featured game in the 3rd edition of World Curling Tour men's event here in Adelboden. And if you look at one of the sponsors behind the sheet there, Adler, that's exactly what Adelboden looks like. It's full of lovely wooden chalets, beautiful views of the mountains, a couple of nice wellness hotels with the spa. And after the first couple of years here in Adelboden, and we couldn't really have folks at the club due to pandemic, priority was to really keep all of our guests who've travelled to visit us. Priority was really to keep them safe, and that meant we didn't have people watching at the club, but this year the risk is low again. And if you want to come to Adelboden and watch some top-level curling, you will be in for a big treat. You will see my beloved Italian team. We have Marco Hösli's team here. People expecting big things from them this year, and I would count myself among those. Marco Hösli's team very close to finals and representing Switzerland last season. And we also have teams here this weekend from Czech Republic, from France, from Poland, and from Korea. And I know we always have some fans from Asia Pacific region. We always have them tuning in as well, and I'm very happy that we shall be able to watch a couple of games with the Korean team. They also played in Scotland last weekend. They're having a nice tour of curling in Northern Europe. They played in Scotland as well. Just winning the 1 game. They'll be looking to have maybe a more successful weekend here in Adelboden. But life not easy at this level, as we know.
Clean, clean. No, no, larga. Ok. No, linea mai.
Our technical setup is a little bit scrappy today. It's a different laptop that is running the show.
Ok. Dillo secca.
And I think it's feeling a little bit overloaded. But thank you for your patience as it tries its best. Now, this aggressive game has been working pretty nicely for Italy. Joel is so comfortable, he's having a big yawn there. And that's really credit to Mattia Giovanella. He's a long-time alternate with this Italian team. He knows very well. And stepping into Simona Gonin's shoes. Stepping into his curling shoes. Simona concentrating more on mixed doubles this season. And Mattia really hits the ground running with this team. Don't underestimate how important it is if you throw lead stones at your club, maybe if you're a little newer to curling. Never say to yourself, oh, it's okay if I throw lead stones, then it doesn't really matter. If I make a mistake with it, it's okay, there's 6 more stones to come. Not true at all. Look how important it is that Mattia Giovanella is setting up these ends for Italy. And gosh, huge sweep from Mattia there as well. And nice result for Sebastiano.
Li gira ben qua comunque.
Mehr. Willst du jemals mit Heck?
10,70.
Ja, du musst nicht sicher
I
rausbekommen.
think Iseli has to take care in the centre here at the moment.
Ja, wenn zentral
We do
ist, ist gut, ja.
quite
Also
often
vom
these
Girl her
days
sollte schon herkommen,
see
oder
teams thing up that corner
Denke
guard,
so, ja.
as San Fanchini has done for
Okay. Willst du lieber
Iseli's team.
ausprobieren?
That's the
oder da her?
Yellowstone. You can see the corner guard right there. Really nice throw. The problem with
So.
attacking that corner guard just now, if you play over there, then the Italians are just to keep locking up that centre. And I think this is wise. I think it would be a little bit too aggressive to play towards the wing and then try to clear out centre later. I think we need to steady the ship a little bit. Iseli's team are only in the third end, but they don't want to get one to death, as we call it. Just a slow one, it's only 1 point, and then suddenly, a few ends later, those ones start really adding up.
Bring the curve.
I like this for a shot, and it's really nice from Andy Gerlach. That's a great shot from him. See how much more pressure that puts on the Italians.
5.
Potentially more difficult to score 2 from here. Again, this end shaping up a little bit like a mixed doubles end. The team's playing towards centre, trying to get stones in that control area just ahead of T.
Stai buona! Linea buona!
Stai buona!
Linea buona!
Stai buona!
Linea!
1 half off.
Linea!
Gets his angles perfect. Really nice throw from Amos Mazzana.
14,60.
So.
I'm not sure you can see enough of that, can you? To play that stone that Jan's indicating. If you want to move that red, you would have to be coming round at some weight. I'm not sure we catch enough curl.
Was hast du von dem so? Finde ich auch gut, ja. Kommst du mit Heck nur? Heck, okay.
I think the yellow onto red, though, that's the, we can see more than half of that yellow. We saw, though, Max Vince throwing a little bit too much weight previous end and not really finding the curl. And hopefully they've learned from that.
Soft,
Throwing more controlled weight at this one. Give your sweeper something to do.
Zip hard! Zip hard! Yep.
This is nice.
Yep. Sit. It's okay.
And just popping that raid through, really nice controlled weight. What a difference that made.
Ci va! Un terzo!
That raid not quite out of play, but as good as, and
Che velocità!
a yellow in now behind that corner guard.
Durch den scheiß Doppel da.
Nice result for Max Vince.
Sì! Oh! Rama!
Big move from Mazana, looking for double. Oh, and he's got enough of it. Really nice throw from him.
So probieren. Ist gut, ja. Einfach gerade Outlänge. Yep, out is good.
Devi buttare fuori la rossa adesso. Questo qui è un roll dentro.
Both Amos and Sebastiano in completely matching uniforms today, even matching hats.
Yep.
Don't get them confused.
Whoa, yep. Whoa.
They're both
Close up!
very tall and can throw very hard.
Yep. Hard! Whoa, Sandro. Bring it. Yep. Bring it. Yep.
And another nice throw from Max Vince. That was not at all a straightforward shot. He couldn't see any of that red that was on the button actually. And he's maybe a little bit unlucky that his own shooter that's just rolled right to the edge there. You can see that just hanging on. There's a little shadow of stone over that 12-foot rim. But if Joe Retornaz makes a mistake, and he has to make a mistake at some point, who knows, maybe there'll be a chance to bring that yellow back into play.
Sì, se anche dovessero rollare fuori è quella di lavare, sta in primi secondi, però sì. Quelle che sono un po' dritte, se si giocava poco, i punti.
Liegt immer noch dort.
Ok.
Just wanting to remove that dangerous yellow, the Italians. I think they can see a good 2/3 of it.
Clean.
We'll see that nice controlled weight again.
Whoa. Giù. Vamos. Whoa. Line.
Really nice throw from Joe Retornaz.
Sì, la camminata aperta.
Still lots of space there to get a yellow counter hidden behind something.
Non l'avevo mai
Iseli's team still thinking, how can we try to get 2 points here?
forse.
Ist gut. Bis jemals bis dahin.
Straight back into this game.
Swatch. Ja, ist gut. Nein.
I think this makes sense, easily realizing that he's surely going to throw roughly T-line with this final shot.
Max,
This
wenn wir in den Corner
stone
gehen.
will accomplish a couple of things then. It will give him a bit of a feel for how the ice is
Ja, aber weißt du musst fast hierher, der
with his last stone, and also
Ausser du bist da, perfekt, freeze. Okay, nein, ist gut.
he can maybe hide the
Weißt du,
stone in
schmaler
behind those reds out front, maybe tempt Joe Retornaz into a miss.
Perfetto.
Gehen so, über da, ja.
Esatto.
Ja.
Plenty of space for a yellow to sneak in behind everything here.
Weniger.
All you can do is set yourself up if you want to score more than 1 point at an end when you have last stone. With last stone you have one shot. Make a difference, you have your one last stone. So scoring 1 point with your one last stone. I don't say it's easy, but it's should be possible.
Mush.
And you don't win games by only scoring 1 point with last stone, and that's why we'll see teams working so hard to try to get 2. This is on purpose to throw it a little bit behind T-line, try to get some separation with that yellow away from the reds, make it hard for Joel to remove it. Hard for us to tell what's lying short. All of them seem to be just beside the 8 foot. But if Joe Retornaz falls that stone from easily,
14-10.
he will definitely be short and remove any chance for Iseli to be able to score 2. The Italians +2 already. They don't really need to take any risk.
Se ne lì, prima sicuro. Che giocare velocità? 4.
They should have a good idea how this anti-clockwise handle's running. They've just seen Iseli throw a stone up this similar path. Don't pay too much attention, viewers, to exactly where the other team puts a brush or whatnot. There's all kinds of different factors come into play, but you can get a broad idea of what the ice is doing from seeing where the opposition places their brush. And indeed, that's exactly what Retornaz was looking for, just cancelling out that yellow. No chance for Iseli to use that yellow he threw with the first stone. But he should also have a good feel for how this anti-clockwise handle is playing.
Hat jetzt 4-1 gehabt. Ja, abbiamo questa 14-3 Schmieden vorher gesehen.
Poi quasi anche la 4-5.
Well managed there from Italy. A couple of chances, a couple of half chances for Iseli's team to start building an end, but well neutralised by the Italians, and no shot for 2 points here. You see Max Vince taking just a bit more ice. We don't need to be anywhere near that centre guard. This is last one, doesn't need to be hit.
No länge.
Just to be.
Bis 4 boys, huh? 14-7.
It does have backing if needed. He doesn't need it though. And that's a good throw from Jan Iseli, just to steady the ship a bit, get that point up on the board. But the Italians, I think they'll be quite happy with how they managed that end. No chance for Iseli's team to score 2 with their last stone, forced to take 1. And that means that going into the 4th end, it will be the Italians who have last stone back, and they lead Jan Iseli's team 2 shots to 1. This is the first end that we shall see Italy having last stone. Was Iseli's team who started with last stone in that first end. And let's see what they do with first stone. They're going to play the aggressive stuff, maybe put up a couple of guards up front.
Ist gut. Max, bleiben noch. 2-3. Max.
From where Jan Iseli is standing, it looks like that's the idea.
Yep. Bring it.
We play 8 ends here in Adelboden. And we are also experimenting with the no-tick rule. And that stone from Sandro Fanchini, that would not currently be protected by the no-tick rule. If the stone is touching that centre line, it's protected by a no-tick rule, and that means you can't move it even by mistake. You can't move that stone off that centre line, and that yellow not quite touching. So the yellow is still protected by free guard zone, not by no-tick rule. And same for Mattia Giovanella's corner guard over there on our left. That also protected by free guard zone.
Viel gut, ganz acht. Noch Platz, Andi her, Andi.
We have 2 more rounds coming today. On Friday, we have next round is at 6 o'clock European. And then we have a final round today at 9 o'clock European.
Okay.
If you're learning tactics, or if you think it could be interesting to play skip.
Oh, line. Oh. Easy
Italian
line,
team,
easy
they're
line.
very good to learn from. They don't really make any strategic mistakes.
Linea migliore. Linea. 5.
Mattia Giovanella playing towards the centre now. With his first stone, he
Easy.
played the corner
Bravo,
guard away
Samai.
from the centre.
Qua.
Now
hard.
playing towards the centre.
Hard. Bel tiro lì. Bravo.
Looking for an opportunity from Iseli's team.
Dat 14 nu.
14-80.
Makes a mistake or even just plays a bit of a loose stone, a half stone. You have that gigantic middle order of Mosana and Sebastiano Arman,
Ganze 8.
ready to just clear up that centre.
Oh. Sandro, stay.
Bis 4.
Bring that second,
Kom een beetje runter.
sorry, bring
En
that
een
corner
klein
guard
linie.
back into play.
Sandro, ja, fang an.
Eerste.
15-1.
This is
Even niet bounce.
coming in chunky by the look of it.
Drum, nee.
Nee, lang niet.
Oké.
Just a little bounce off. That could already be
Loopt toe,
a little half shot, just a little bit loose,
Vetak,
coming in a little bit hot
15-1.
and giving Sebastiano Arman
Clean.
a chance to hit and
Wow.
roll already
Whoa.
behind that corner guard.
Whoa. Clean. Hit. Hard. Oh. Una bella tega.
Ooh, bit of a let off for Iseli's team. Not quite curling enough, not quite catching enough. Sebastiano Arman's stone there. And that means Jan Iseli
Geht er jetzt
has
noch weniger Eis?
another chance to put a yellow in on top on the centre line. Iseli's team don't have last stone. They will be interested in what might Italy
Linie
to
gut.
start building into these ones lying around, building up angles.
Ja, ja.
And if they
Sandro.
can get yellow in right on top of this red,
Und super,
that
Linie
will
ist gut.
already really cut down the scoring zone
15-9.
for the Italians.
Fisch.
And this looks like a better effort.
Shit, am raus.
Okay.
Not quite up to where red is,
Ik zie er nog een meer af.
Qua
but
tanto.
certainly more useful than
Qua.
previous stone, which bounced out really fully into the open.
6.
14,5 quella del Zoe T-line.
This is interesting. That yellow is far enough forward, just in the fronting. It's far enough forward that Joel might have decided to play around that corner guard, but instead
Lì.
deciding to go around the back of everything.
Linea. Oh, linea buona.
We saw the
Linea
teams
buona.
playing
C'è una linea.
down this line
Wow,
in
wow,
the
wow,
second end.
7 va bene. 7 va bene. No. Erano.
With pretty similar result. Gosh, that stone just seemed to put its brakes on, didn't it?
Ja. Out de fish.
Trusting that line.
Fish even niet shot.
We played that line
Nee, ik
already
vind dat
when we
goed.
were thrown
Welke vind je goed?
towards the glass
the
in the second
run.
end. And gosh, working
Oh,
out
je niet
beautifully
optimaal
in
fout.
this fourth end as
Yep.
well.
Jetzt bitte hier treffen, oder?
This is always a bit of a frustrating shot. You wanted those centre guards out front that you could try to hide behind, but your opposition has called your bluff a bit, and
Yep.
Max Vince asked to
Hard. Yep.
clear a bit of space. Or is he going for yellow onto red onto red? Not quite. But that's nice though, that mixes things up a bit. You now at least can see something of those reds.
Piazza la guardia.
But indeed,
E
Italy
un po' tirato.
probably just going to block that clockwise handle again.
E non...
Or you
Sì, lui
could,
giocherà qua dopo.
yeah, just keep piling them in towards the pin on
No,
the
è che se ne
anti-clockwise
mettiamo una
handle.
qua,
Sì.
lui ce l'ha. No, qua non è male qua.
Ah, è vero.
That's it.
There isn't really a right or wrong here. If you have
Sì.
all the stones in the house, then they're all just that bit closer together. And Jan Iseli, if he's feeling very fancy, maybe he can make some sort of triple takeout, whereas if you put a guard, probably a little bit harder.
Wow. Clean. Wow. Sì.
Retornaz
Sì.
team plus 1 point as we get towards halfway in this game.
Bomba.
Definitely throwing shots really nicely.
Ok, peccato.
That stone just curling a little bit too
Sì.
much though. You see that red.
The draw so
Really
brings
was
us in
exactly what they wanted, was to just push that red back into the house, but overcut a little bit, and the angle
Wie viel hast du da?
not quite as
Ja,
timed
gerade ganz, aber
as they
du kannst
wanted.
trauen.
Does that help you? I'm not sure it does. I think don't get distracted with that. I think
Non ascoltavo.
Weißt du.
if Iseli's team want to limit the damage here,
Come fai a sapere con la chiamata?
I think they need to do something about reds at the centre.
Perché non sapevo.
Fast immer weg, oder nicht?
Ja, ich bin immer weg, aber der muss da mal lösen.
Those two yellows out front are quite nicely placed.
Danach
Viene a
nimmt man
mettere
gerade
pure
direkt.
velocità. Che pure anche a finire quando fondi non cambia niente.
If they can get that red,
Così non si è messi male ancora.
then they'd have a couple of yellows ahead of
Dann
team.
irgendwie, dann er steht wieder eine Chance mit dem.
Non mi piaceva un Ardente 3 perché adesso la gialla non fa niente.
Iseli is doing his best way to put pressure on the team.
Chef von vorne. Ja, ja, nicht, dass wir eine Hütte kassieren.
This seems
Was?
like an awfully
Nicht, dass wir
difficult
eine
shot
Hütte
holding that.
kassieren.
Ja, okay.
I think it's a lot of risk for not necessarily a
Nicht
lot
zu
of
dünn, sonst hast
reward.
du ihn da vorne. Oh, treffen halb. Halb, dick, halb.
I'd love for them to prove me wrong though.
Ein rot mit. Gut. Wir würden einfach links etwas machen und dann haben wir einen Rechtsshot mit einem Doppel oder so. Das sieht ein bisschen bitter aus momentan.
Looks like the call is some sort of spectacular
Close. Yep.
double takeout on the
Sandro,
reds,
Sandro.
sort of across the house in terms of distance, and that's exactly what he's done. It looked like that was the only shot in Max Vince's head, and indeed he's really nailed it.
Sì, non è male.
Manca starli davanti intanto.
Sì. Sì.
The problem with that
Genau.
is indeed that I think now you're going to lose that handy yellow out front,
11!
and you're going to be looking at 3 Italian zones, and
Yeah.
guess who it is that's got last stone this end?
Sì. Hard. Wow. 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 Controllala, controllala. Wow.
Perfect shot from Amos Mazzana, removing that dangerous yellow and just rolling away from the centre. And very dangerous setup now.
Sì, no, facciamo da giusto.
You have a stone in the front ring, either side on the wings, and that target stone right in the centre.
1080, 1080. Era chiamata giusta
Yeah,
comunque
either
per
one is
fare.
fine. It really just
Okay,
depends
good.
which angle you prefer.
Ist ein bisschen weiter zum Rollen von da aus. Als wenn das ist.
Ich würde es 10, du kannst immer noch vor dran schon nur rollen.
Okay, ist gut. 10 rein, so.
Oder
Okay.
willst du 9?
Nein, 10 ist gut. So.
That was a lovely shot by Max Vince, but I'm not convinced it was the right call.
10 und hinter gar. Ist
Che
gut.
ha poco
Ja.
margine.
Würde drauf verdappen? Nein, bin gut.
Ah, se lo fai, stai in storia. Non è già per favore una volta.
Definitely a game of youth versus experience out there.
Länge!
Current Swiss
Andy.
junior champions in the form of Jan Iseli's team. And huge experience in the form of the current world bronze medalists, Team Retornaz of Italy.
Non voleria giocare
Wenn
qua
ich
dove
weiss, dass so schnell ist, kann ich
perché se giochi qua di regola se questo
And I
doppia
fancy
guardia.
Italy will just
Sì, no,
keep
ma-
that pressure on.
eh sì, sì, è qua da Verta.
Non gioca la doppia.
They could remove that yellow, make absolutely sure there's no way.
Guarda,
8, 9.
I was going to say there's no way for Iseli to score 2, but it's the Italians who have last stone even. Life then not getting easier for the young Swiss.
Oh, sorry.
Giuliana 8, 9, leader. Aperta. Sì, aperta. Che non voleria andare dentro a ponte la guardia. Ma no, in teoria sì.
quindi giocheria per 10.
Sì, ma aperta.
Aperta, sì, così.
Sì. Sì. Deve fare il roll giusto. Comunque se fa il roll con quel punto per uno se non lo fa. 3-9.
Andiamo per 9,
buona.
Joe Retornaz then just looking for a third red counter. He doesn't want this to go too close to T-line and give Jan Iseli a bit of a chance to hit and roll. In fact, I think they want this one actually behind T for that reason. Ooh, and it's not one or the other really,
Was?
but I think it's probably caught just enough hurl that
Ja, ga ik proberen.
is safely enough behind that centre guard.
Oder ist es so?
You can see easily looking at
Oder du nimmst
what if we just try to make the
Ja.
double take out. I don't think the shooter would
Così
hang around
aperti.
if it hits that
No, giocando
right
della
on
guardia che
left the
sempre il
centre
rischio
line.
che
The
ti
shot
fermi
just
dalla
thrown
guardia,
by
lascia
Joel. I
Ja,
don't
so
think
ist
Jan
es da.
Iseli's shooter would hang around.
Weiss nicht.
Gut, so.
Weil so, wenn du so etwas machst,
They're maybe thinking, what about the double
Zuerst so.
Ah beh, questo adesso
stone on the left of our screen? I think the
ja, wenn
angle's
du natürlich daher
rather
tappst,
difficult
dann
for you,
tappst du
unfortunately,
nicht.
though.
Was würdest du?
Nur einfach mit Outlänge.
He's had a lot of difficult shots already this afternoon to face Jan Iseli.
Ja.
Perché adesso lui ha il terzo.
So,
So we're going for the double on
Maar snappen
in off the
das ist
winger.
verdammt dünn, ja.
Sì, ma gioca sul terzo shot.
Max Vince just check where do we need to connect?
Vabbè,
Nur inhouden, weer etwas anderes.
No, abbiamo. Può darsi la stessa spacca, però da gran girare.
It's not by much yet. Quite a
intern.
thin double actually.
Oké, is goed. Jo.
They could really do with nailing this shot though. Too many Italian stones hanging around. And Joel Retornaz with one stone still to come. Last throw in this fourth end for Jan Iseli.
Wow.
He's a nice steady hitter. but no, this time he's not. Oh gosh. Oh dear. We said that was quite a thin connection, but not as thin as that, Jan. That's not it. I would say the French team next door, you can just see them smiling on the left. I wouldn't say they're quite giggling up their sleeves yet. But this is pretty much what happened to the French team this morning. Just nothing was going their way. And Iseli's team ran off 8-1 winners. And now they're getting to feel what that's like. They're not having their happiest game out there. And the Italians, always professional. Always good to keep that momentum, even if you're playing well. Let's keep playing well. And no trouble for Joe there. And that is going to be, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 red stones. And that is a bit of a game changer. That means after 4 ends, that's the half time. Huge score of 4 in the 4th end for the Italians, and that makes our score here in our featured game at the World Hurling Tour in Adelboden. That makes our score 6 points to 2, 6 points to 1. Looking a little bit dejected, Jan Iseli's team. Yeah, they've got a bit of a mountain to climb now. The format here in Adelboden is a round robin though. The same like in Baden. So we have 2 groups of 5. And everybody plays everyone else. The format last weekend in Scotland, that was the triple knockout. Harder to predict when you play. If you get into the C road, if you've had 2 losses already and you're on your last life. My buddies from US currently, they call that the death march, because you simply have to keep winning. And in this format, it's a round robin followed by quarterfinals. We'll have quarterfinals tomorrow evening. I wouldn't say you can afford to have a bit of an off game, but the consequence might not be so terrible. Won't necessarily be facing a death march just because you've lost 1 game. And this is all they can do, Iseli's team. You can see a huge score of 4 to the Italians. I do think that Iseli's team made a mistake with Max Vin's shot. Beautiful shot though it was. I think they maybe got their tactics a bit muddled there. And in our battle of youth versus experience, it is very much the experience that's winning out just now.
Linea. Forte. Sì. Continua. Linea. Ok. Spostare la prima, dovevo mi.
Ma anche secca un po',
Good influence from Mattia Giovanella. Really fitting well into this team. Long-time alternate for Joel's team. Very familiar with how they play. And really critical. I sometimes think it's easier to come into a team at second throw.
Because
particularly at this level, the first couple of stones are so important to dictate how the end is going to play out. And if you were at the club, you might get your foot off the gas a little bit here. Not play quite so aggressive, maybe not put quite so many stones to play. And firstly, you can't really afford to do that at this level. Iseli's team not having such a happy game so far, but the Italians will be well aware of what Iseli is capable of. And also, it does you no good to lose your rhythm. The Italians are in a super rhythm out there. Everybody's really got their T-line weight in their pocket.
Vai.
They're coming off a huge win in the tournament in Scotland last weekend, the Italians, beating everyone. And they will be very keen to keep that momentum going, keep that rhythm going. I think it's one of the hardest things, actually, if you're aiming to be one of these top teams. I think that can be the hardest thing, is to get used to winning. This Italian side certainly very used to winning, and giving themselves a huge boost in that fourth end. And life not getting happier for Iseli's team. You can see what a lovely line that had, but did not have the beans.
Ancora qua. Tipo diretto.
The teams all have 4 games before we get to quarterfinals. Plenty of curling still left for Team Iseli, but this will be their last one today. They have the evening off.
Linea buona.
Maybe a nice walk around one of the hiking trails, taking some nice Adelboden here. That will maybe push up their curling.
Linea perfetta.
The Italians, as I thought, are relentless.
Bel tiro.
Die Nase draufballern. Du musst so bedrüben, der Shooter verliest zwar. Und wenn du Nase hast... Kannst auch, ja. Und Nase. Nase.
Was he curling Hoot in the chat? Good morning, Hoot. It's morning for you. Are you in Canada? There is also a tournament going on in Canada this weekend. There's just tournaments everywhere.
Good. Sorry.
That's lovely from second thrower Andy Gerlach. Cleans out everything. And he does get a roll. I think, no, is that yellow?
Yeah.
Just biting the front ring. I don't think it is, but they now have a quadruple corner guard. So any stone getting in behind there, you would think would be real safe.
Linea buona. 6. Linea buona.
Won't bother Italy. They will stick to this line, this nice clockwise roll. They know it very well.
Linea buona.
Alternatively, the Italians could start removing that quadruple corner guard.
Good.
But why bother when this
14,5.
aggressive game is working for you? Definitely the best form of defence is a better attack.
4-1
And that can be high risk.
4-1.
Of course, aggressive play in most all sports, it's higher risk, higher reward, and you need to be careful if you're going to out-aggressive your opposition, which Italy are currently doing, then you have to have that T-line lead. Unfortunately for Iseli's team, it looks like the Italians do. It's their first game of this competition here in Adelboden. The Italian team, they had the morning off. That's a nice throw from Max Vince. Had no trouble throwing actually out there. tactically naive against
Linea,
the
linea,
Italians out there. The game constantly moving, especially now that we're in well into 5 row free guards. So I think all the teams
oh,
pretty
linea
familiar
perfetta,
with
linea,
how
linea no.
that goes now.
Oh, freeze qua, freeze
You
interno.
could see it took some of the teams a
Mattia,
little bit to adjust to 5 rock free guards, but look at that. The big guy,
Vai tranquillo.
Amos Mazzano, really could not have wandered up there and placed it any better. And Jan
Da komme
Iseli,
ich von da schon her, keine Ahnung.
who often looks
So,
a little bit
meinst
perplexed
So.
about things.
Aber er kann auch nicht schießen, oder? Wie? Er kann auch über seine schießen, oder? Ich spiele ein bisschen
Really
aktiv.
struggling, Iseli's team to
Keine
make
Ahnung.
any headway against a solid Italian unit.
Gut, oh, da kann er einfach nicht so, das ist auch. Ist gut, dann kann er nicht da drin schießen, ne?
Ja, kann drüber auch reinschießen.
Man muss hoffen, dass er nicht da drauf schießt.
Ja. Ist gut.
It is the Swiss who have last stone in this 5th end.
Das Ding ist, du
But
musst
at
nicht
the moment,
trotzdem mit dem...
even a little bit difficult to see a last stone, that quadruple corner guard over there on our right.
Das Einzige, was ich sehe, ist
I think
direkt so.
It's kind of blocking the anti-clockwise handle actually. You could probably go around the back of all of them if you took really wide ice, but then I don't think you'd be lying short. But well, we're about to see.
Ich spiele ein bisschen aktiver. Ich spiele ein bisschen da. Ich gehe jetzt ein. Einfach gerade hinten für
You could fit a new ice in that big mouth
Ich spiele ein bisschen
of Retornaz,
mit Rotation, dass es ein bisschen länger läuft.
having a big yawn to him now. They're boring themselves, they're that good, the Italians.
Adi,
On, yep.
zieh Linie! Yep! Zieh Linie!
Yeah, yep.
Hard!
Yep.
Hard!
Where's
Fest!
it? Yep. Yep.
Put a lot of handle on that stone, Max Vince, and I think that served him well.
Sorry,
Just holding it a little straighter.
waar is nou?
Oh, that's really unlucky. Oh, you can see Max just looking down and having a wry smile to himself, really trying hard. Iseli's team to get back into this game. Themselves a bit of a mountain to climb, haven't they?
Ce l'ho all'interno. Ce l'ho all'interno, eh?
You often see this with this
Perché
Italian
Nos
team.
non è un granché,
It's
no?
like a fairly obvious shot.
Sì, Nos non è un granché.
And first things first, it probably is. We want to
Gioco
move that
militare,
yellow.
ma anche non
I think
forte.
what do we want to roll
Sì, no, adesso è sicuro a
to
prendere
the
l'interna,
left as
perché
we're
Nos non
looking
è il
to
massimo.
that pack?
Fare doppio.
Does that just give easily a target to sit on? A big nest of red stones.
No, potresti anche non cavare.
Or if you want to roll the other way, do you risk maybe jamming that yellow?
No, ma dobbiamo essere sicuri che c'è un
Onto the
all'interno,
red behind
l'importante è
it.
giocare alla velocità giusta. Perché anche la spinge sul qua non fa schifo. Però non puoi giocare a spingere sul qua.
Costa di battere la guardia.
They're really good at that, this Italian team.
Però 13, C'è anche il 12 che sta.
Really, I wouldn't say taking their time, but they typically make sure they're making the best decision.
Sì.
No, Pina non la comunque da venire a arrivare su.
12? 12 e mezzo.
Oh,
12 e mezzo.
Sue in the chat. His alter ego is Kernhoot
Ah, non so tantissimo,
in
Filo
Michigan.
più, ma
Plenty of curling around that area, I think, as well. We don't
13.
have teams from North America in our competition here in Adelboden, but we do have visitors from Korea. The same team who played in Scotland last weekend. Continuing their European adventure. They're here with us in Adelboden, and we shall be watching them a bit later.
Clean. No. Oh, Rama. Rama. Giù.
The decision was then to just pop that yellow through, roll to the side.
12. 11 no.
Ja, schön.
Oh dear.
Ja, ich würde einfach mal so mit der Waage
Max and Jan
das Köpfchen hittest. Gut, dann
looking
hast
at
du
each other as if to say, gosh, what do you think?
Quanti terra?
What do you think?
9.
Müller sieht das schon.
Secondo.
Ja, ist okay, das bringt
Not too many
Anche la
options
prova
here.
la Contamini.
Dann können wir es nachher noch mal.
Aber da geht der Hösli
To
so drauf,
see,
dann verlierst
can
du. Da
you
müssen wir auch abschreiben.
Any of those
Du musst
yellows
nicht draufhauen.
Nein, also da kommst du immer aufs
over there on the anti-clockwise handle, can they
Wie
use
sage
any
ich
of
so?
those to
Eben mal
drive
so.
back into the pile?
Da ist echt gelb drin und nur
Doesn't
rot.
quite
Der
like
ist
it. I
weg.
think that
Also ich würde
quadruple
einfach so
guard is
auf
maybe a
den
bit
Feld,
too
also,
safe.
dass irgendeinen kannst du machen. Wie
Das
willst du
schießt
das?
nachher drauf.
Und nachher hast du drauf. Wie siehst du, dass du das noch einen machen?
Also machst du den.
Nein, was willst du?
I think it's not a terrible idea to drive that red
that
back into the
Der
pack
läuft, der läuft.
3 e mezza.
and just try to clear
Ich
space
sage ja.
for your last shot, Jan.
Also, aber der dort ist ganz schlecht, der ist vor.
Or they may be saying to themselves, you know, just to pick up one point here. Not sure that's enough.
Einfach musst du es dünn haben.
Take a bit of a
Ich
risk
sage, ich glaube, wer
and go all out to try to score two. They may feel that's the only chance to get back into this game. I don't think that's quite true yet. We're only in the fifth end. Important that they score. And I think, yeah, maybe the best chance to score is to try to clear up this clockwise handle.
Ja, gib weniger. Weniger.
Well, Andy. Oh.
They certainly moved the guard. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed, though. He really wanted to move more than the guard, because as we see,
Primi e secondi.
I think Italy will simply try to replace that guard.
So. Große Name.
Good to see Iseli's team still smiling. They're champions, they know how to win. They are the current Swiss junior champions. This was their last year at juniors, and they've already been playing these men's competitions for 2 or 3 seasons. I'm sure that will come in pretty handy as the years go on.
Linea buona.
Ja, auch noch das Gleiche.
But it is pretty tough at the beginning. You really have to swallow your pride, and you have to play against these big teams who have so much more experience.
Continua così, fino in fondo. Fino in fondo. Fino in fondo. Hurry.
Ist aber eine hohe
Keep going.
Weite.
Hurry.
And the twin towers of Italy. Gosh, I never thought that raid was curling as far as it did. But super sweep from Amos Mazzana and Sebastiano Arman.
Oder über gelb.
Okay, ja. Ja, ist gut.
Good sweep Ranna.
Schießt ist einfach. Ist gut.
I've learned that that's Sebastiano Arman's nickname. If you hear Joe's team calling out, sweep Ranna, sweep.
Ja, schön raus.
It's Sebastiano they're talking to.
Was? Tut say, New Dreamer, you know.
Nose del shot.
Quite a Hail Mary shot
Per
coming up
due.
here then.
Per due quasi. Nose del shot.
Looks like yellow onto yellow onto yellow onto yellow onto red onto red onto red. Something like that.
Quello che il
Oh, yep.
con
Yep.
slash.
Ah, okay. Hast du gesehen?
Oh. What a brave effort from Jan Iseli. Everybody having a smile about that one.
Congrats. Good luck.
Well, they looked at the angles. They
Good luck.
they weren't far off being
Congrats, good luck. Sorry.
correct
Thank
about
you.
it. They weren't far off just
guys.
seeing all those reds
Thank you. Good luck.
and indeed deciding to just take a chance to try to keep this game going. And brave effort from Iseli's team, but really just outfired by this red hot Italian team, really missing nothing that whole game.
Das ist
And that's really the difference at the junior level or at the men's level. You can't take a few stones to get into the feel for the game here. At this level, everybody's waiting to pounce from their first stone. And I think the scoreline maybe flattered the Italians a little bit. Certainly the stronger team out there. Some nice throws there from Iseli's team. And plenty to with them into the next game. They are back on the ice tomorrow at 11. And they will be playing Team Bangerter, who are currently on sheet 1 next door. They're having a good game against the French team, Mercier. So the team's just doing their last shot draw for the next round. And this makes sense, you know. If you have your lead thrower, that's the person who's throwing a guard or T-line all game. I'm sure Maria Giovanella will have T-line in his pocket. So the team's throwing last shot draw for the next round. And I can tell you who that is. For Retornaz's team, they are back on ice at 9 o'clock this evening, European time. They will be playing Bangerter. And Iseli's team, they have the evening off. They will be back on ice tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock European. And then it's their turn to play Bangerter. So 1 win, 1 loss for Iseli's team today. They had a big win against Mercier, the French, this morning. And the table's really turning. And not having a happy game against the Italians. So they can have a nice rest this afternoon, Iseli's team. Figure out how they're going to play that game tomorrow. But for the time being, it's another stonking win for Retornaz. That's their first game in this competition. Played 1-1. They're back on ice this evening at 9 o'clock against Bangerter. We will be back for the other group. They are on at 6 o'clock European time. And we will be watching Team Ribotta from Italy. That's the other Italian team, the younger team, and they're playing Team Stych from Poland. First time that we have a Polish team in this competition. So do join us back at 6 o'clock European for our next game. And thank you for joining us just now. Bye for now.